All right, we're back. This is the third time in 2 years that I've been asked to speak at Valencia Middle School. This time, it's a little bit different. I've been asked by Ms. Jaramillo to provide an opening presentation for their springtime assembly. So this is going to be an opportunity for me to present some health-related topics to both their 7th and 8th grade classes. So this is going to be the largest group of individuals I will have ever had the opportunity to speak in front of. I think it's going to be a couple hundred people, and I'm going to hit this at a different angle. Instead of just talking about exercise and nutrition only, I'm actually going to talk about one of the most important dimensions of your deep health and fitness in your existential or spiritual fitness. So I'm really excited. This is a first unique opportunity to have. So let's go in, let's get it started, let's make it happen.
Again, a nice big round of applause.
Check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2. Thumbs up if you can hear me. I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, let's do another 10 check, another quick pulse check. I want to make sure everybody's feeling good. So by a show of thumbs, thumbs up if you're feeling good, thumb in the middle if you're feeling okay, thumb down if you're not feeling so good. No judgment. Okay, that's all right, that's all right, that's all right. We're getting the feel of things. I see some thumbs up, I see some thumbs to the side, I can see some thumbs down. It's okay, no judgment. Okay, another quick question for you all. I'll provide a little bit of brief background. Who here is from Peralta? There we go. I was born and raised in Peralta. I went to Peralta Elementary School. Who here is from Boston Farms? There we go. These are my people. Who here is from Comed? I like it. Who here is from El Cerro?
Show of hands. Okay, cool. Well, first and foremost, I was talking with Miss Martinez right as Miss Coffin, I believe is her name, was speaking to you all.
And Miss Martinez and I kind of made a little bit of a bet as far as who could get the loudest good morning.
So good morning?
Good morning!
I don't know, I think hers was still louder. Good morning.
Good morning!
I don't know if we're there yet. Good morning, Valencia Middle School. Okay, we're getting some energy going, and I like that. So, first of all, thank you all. Thank you to the staff of Valencia Middle School. Thank you to Ms. Jaramillo for having me here today. It is a privilege, and it is an honor to speak to each and every one of you this morning. So, as crazy as it might seem, I too was a student at this very school. There was a point in time, that's me right there if you can see me, that's me and my teammates back when I was a kiddo. I played basketball in this very gym. I also played in the playground outside of class. Yep, that's me. That's me as a youngin'. And as crazy as it might seem, I was your age at one point in time, and I didn't really know what lay ahead of me. I didn't know what high school was going to look like. I didn't know what college was going to look like. I didn't even know what the rest of my life was really going to look like. Yeah, that guy right there, that goofball. So, after all, who would know what lies ahead of them at the age of 12, 13 years old, right? But the really cool thing is, 20 years later, I'm here speaking to each and every one of you right now. So thank you for holding the space for me. Thank you for holding the space for me being able to share my story with you and my past and how being raised here was one of the greatest privileges I could have ever been given. And I'm excited to share that with you all today. So, a little bit of background as was shown in the first slide. Myself and my wife run an online fitness coaching company. So by a show of hands, I heard Ms. Coffin talk about social media use. Who here has an Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok account? Show of hands. This dude's standing up. He's proud of it. That's okay. Okay. So to provide some context to you all, if you look over your right-hand shoulder, one of my good friends, Zach Coker, right there, has got his camera. Wave and say hi, Zach. Wave and say thank you, Zach. Okay, so as Ms. Coffin was talking about purposeful and intentional use of social media, my intention with my wife in being fitness professionals is to put as much good, positive content out into the world and out into social media as possible. And that's made possible by collaborating with other like-minded individuals that share a similar shared vision of good. So as a fitness professional, I'm constantly asked all the time, what's the best form of exercise? What's the best exercise to do? And after coaching hundreds of clients at this point in time, I've come to find that the best exercise for any of you all to do, or any adult to do, is the exercise that you like the least. And as I've continued to coach people as time has gone on, I've continued to find that the most difficult exercise for most people is to sit still and pay attention to their breath. So my intention for you all today, if you all are okay with it, I'd like to start this presentation by guiding us all through a quick 5-minute breathing exercise. Is that okay? Okay. I saw a thumbs down, but that's okay. I might change your mind later. So, go ahead. Obviously, you're already seated. Get nice and comfortable in your seats. Feet flat on the ground. Now let's try to get as silent and as calm and cool and collected as humanly possible. All right, so next step, close your eyes, please. Close your eyes. I promise, the coolest thing about doing this, when you close your eyes, no one else is looking, so no one can judge you. So close your eyes. What we're going to do here is start by inhaling through your nose. We're going to inhale through our nose for a count of 4. So as you're counting to yourself in your head, you're going to go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. And then when you exhale, you're going to I'm going to scoot forward. And then when you exhale out of your mouth for 4 seconds. So you're going to do a 4 count. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Find a pace that works well for you. Take your time. So once you get into a good cadence, a good routine, we're going to take our awareness, as your eyes are still closed, we're going to take your awareness to your feet. So while you're sitting breathing, wiggle your toes a little bit. Feel your toes wiggling in your shoes. Not stomping your feet, just wiggling your toes. From there, keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. You're going to bring your attention and your awareness to your calves, so the muscles just behind your shins. We're just noticing any tension that we might be feeling in our body. No judgment, we're just noticing. We're going to take that attention up to the fronts of our thighs, just above our knees. Just notice if you feel any tension. We're not judging anything. We'll continue to breathe through our nose, exhale out of our mouth, taking our time. And then bring our awareness up to our stomachs, our abdomen. Are we maybe feeling hungry? Did we eat breakfast this morning? Did we not eat breakfast this morning? Are we feeling a little anxious for class? Again, we're just noticing without any judgment. From there, we're going to bring our awareness up to our chest. Are we feeling any tightness? Are we feeling any uneasiness? Again, just noticing. Going back to our breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Here, we're going to bring our awareness to our shoulders.
Start playing around with rolling your shoulders forward, a circular motion. Nice and easy, take your time. Going back to your breath. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. We are in no rush. Now, circles with the shoulders backwards. Nice and easy. Take your time. Next up, we're going to pay attention to any tension we might be feeling in our neck. So we're going to roll our head around in a clockwise circle, noticing any tension. Do 5 circles clockwise. Nice and easy. And then 5 circles counterclockwise. Once you're done with your 5, go back to your breath. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And lastly, we're going to take 3 big breaths that I'm going to guide you through. So I'll demonstrate first, and then you'll follow with me. You're going to take a big inhale through your nose. And then when you exhale out of your mouth, you're going to end with a big ah. That was good. 2 more. 2 more. Back to your breath. Back to your breath. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take your time. Let's do 2 more. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Ah. This one, let out as much energy as you can. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Cool. That was good. All right. Back to center. Back to center. All right, so for those of you that are here, I have seen a few familiar faces. By show of hands, who has been in Miss Martinez's class while myself and my wife have been able to present? So we've got a hand up here. Awesome. So part of the reason why I felt like it was important to start today's assembly off with that breathing exercise is because most people think that living a healthy life means you have to do something super complicated or you have to have some fancy, expensive piece of equipment. And in all actuality, living a healthy life it's part of acknowledging it being, I don't know how to put this, part of it is acknowledging that you have the ability to be resourceful and use what you already have, which is your breath. Because things can be busy, things can be chaotic. As each of you are making your way into high school, you're completing testing, you're going to notice that things are going to be a little bit cloudy, things are going to be a little bit crazy. So my intention behind that exercise was to help you all understand that you have a resource and a tool that's always in your back pocket. So when you're feeling stressed, when things are feeling crazy, you always have your breath. You can always help keep yourself calm. So when life around you seems kind of crazy, it made me think of a quote by the late great philosopher by the name of Alan Watts.
And he said, "As muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone, it could be argued that those who sit quietly and do nothing are making one of the best possible contributions to a world in turmoil." So, as we had already gone through the breathing exercise, I'd like to walk you through a little bit of my story with this slide in particular. And excuse me as I sift through my notes here. So let's continue. So Ms. Jaramillo asked me to come speak to you all because there's some big stuff on the horizon. You've got testing around the corner. You're finishing this year strong. Ms. Coffin spoke about it's really not how you start, it's how you finish. So you've got a few months ahead of you to finish strong. So I want to give you some words of wisdom and share with you my experience in helping you finish the year as strong as humanly possible. So ultimately, I want to bring your attention to this photo in the bottom right-hand corner. That's okay, you can laugh. Get them out of your system. So the reason I share this photo with you all is because as a fitness and health professional, most people think that being healthy and fit requires diet and exercise alone. So who here, by a show of hands, has always heard that in order to live a healthy life, it's about how much exercise you do and how well your eating is? Show of hands. It's a lot of us, right? We've all heard those things. So part of my intention for today's conversation relative to this experience I had is I'd like to chat with you about, in my opinion, one of the most important dimensions of your health, and that's known as your spiritual health, or as it's otherwise known as your existential health. So, back to this photo here. So I'm pretty sure at this point in time in this photo, I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and I was around the same age as many of you here. And during the time of this photo, I had placed in the regional science fair at the University of New Mexico. And as a result of me placing, I was asked to come back to campus and accept my award at Pope Joy Hall. And, as a result of that, I'm sure as any of you all would be, how many of here has won a trophy or won an award of some sort? There we go, a lot of you, very cool. So just like anybody here has, when you win an award, it's exciting, right? You're super pumped to accept the award. So my 6th or 7th grade-year-old self is super, super pumped to accept this award that I just had achieved. So like any other parent would, my mom encouraged me to go into my room and put on, as she said, put on something nice to accept the award. Okay, so I go into my room and I put on that. I put on a Hawaiian blue shirt. Kristen, if you're able to scroll up and show my hair a little bit. I put orange hair gel in my hair. I spike my hair. And I'm ready to go. So I walk out of the door, and how do you think my mom felt about that? Yeah, needless to say, my mom wasn't very pleased. She wasn't very pumped, at least initially. But this is how I wanted to express myself, right? I really felt good presenting myself this way. This felt like me. And at the end of the day, I got to choose what I wanted my hair to look like. I got to choose what clothes to put on that day. I got to choose how I got to present myself, and it felt amazing. This, as an example, is what your spiritual health is all about, my friends. It's doing what feels right for you regardless of what other people think. Because as each and every one of you make your way into testing, you make your way into high school, you make your way into quote unquote the real world, you're going to have a lot of people who don't know the real you tell you how you should be doing things. And I'd like to provide another quick example real quick before I close out my end of the presentation, if that's okay. Okay. So, by a show of hands again, who all is from Peralta, Bosque Farms, El Cerro, or Tomé? Is it Tomé or Tomé? I don't know. Back in my day, it was pronounced Tomé. But I can say it like a white boy would, Tomé. Anyways, okay. So, being from Peralta, being from Los Lunas, most people I talk to that are from outside of New Mexico, they either don't know New Mexico is a state, or this is the important piece. They look down on you because you're from here. And I think that's a problem. And I'm going to tell you why. So remember that Alan Watts quote I shared earlier about muddy water and how it's important to stay centered and present in yourself despite living in a world that doesn't understand you, in a world that's in turmoil? At the end of the day, the world around you is swimming in muddy water. They're swimming in turmoil, and the key distinction is they don't know any better, especially if they're not willing to take the time to get to know the real you. And as you make your way out into the world outside of Valencia County, which is where we are all from, people are going to hear that you're from Los Lunas. They're going to hear you're from Tomé. They're going to hear you're from El Cerro or Peralta or Bosque Farms. And they're going to write you off. They're going to try to make you feel like you're a nobody. They're going to try to break your spirit. At least that's what's happened to me as I've graduated from Los Lunas High School and have tried to make a name for myself and try to make a name for my community. Because each and every one of you in this gym, you matter. Your voice matters. Your perspective matters. Your spirit matters. So I'd like to provide a little bit of a unique perspective as to why I think it's so important that we all are from here, if that's okay. Thumbs up if that's cool. Okay. So we all live in New Mexico, otherwise known as the land of enchantment. Who's heard that phrase before by a show of hands? Land of enchantment. Cool. The majority of us. I like that. So here's a fun fact about New Mexico. In the state of New Mexico, we get 300 days of sunlight every single year. So to put this into perspective for any of my math whizzes or fans of math out there, I heard a no, that's okay, I'm not a math fan either. With 300 days of sunlight per year here in New Mexico, that means 82% of your entire year is full of sunlight. So each of you get to step out of this gym and not only experience 300 days of sunlight every single year, but you get to look east and have the Manzano Mountains border your school. And last time I checked, most kids don't get to be born in that kind of environment. Most kids don't get sunlight the majority of every single day of every year. They don't get to look at a beautiful blue sky every single day of the year. And they don't get the opportunity to look at beautiful mountain ranges in their backyard. So why am I saying this? My encouragement to you is to let this environment that you live in currently serve as a springboard for the light that you bring into this world. Because I promise you, as a 34-year-old adult, the world needs more light, and it needs more light from each and every single one of you here. It needs your spirit, it needs your expression, and it needs your ideas. And most importantly, it needs you to challenge the status quo like this kid here. Regardless of who's gonna laugh at you, regardless of who's gonna misunderstand you and not understand what you're about and what you represent and where you came from. So in closing, I'd like to leave you with one fact and two definitions. So the fact of the matter is that it takes one particle of light to dispel 1,000,000 particles of darkness. And I think it's kind of funny because I spent some time looking up the definition of the word enchantment in the phrase, the land of enchantment. And it told me this: a feeling of great pleasure, of great delight, or the state of being under a spell, magic. So, my encouragement to you all is to never let others define you. Put the power back in your hands and define yourself. And don't ever lose your delight. Don't ever lose your magic. And don't ever be ashamed to call this beautiful state your home. because the rest of the world will be looking to the bright minds and the bright spirits in this room for a path forward into the future. Thank you so much for your time, y'all. All right, so that's a wrap. I'm still buzzing. I'm still humming from that experience. I didn't know what to expect as far as how many kids I was going to be presenting in front of, and come to find out, I was able to speak in front of 500 students at my former middle school here at Valencia Middle School. And the main word or descriptor that comes to mind for me at this point in time, now having finished the presentation, is I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the staff at Valencia Middle School that have seen in me and my wife Megan something that they feel would benefit their students, and not helping just motivate them or inspire them, but really encourage them to dream big and to do things that maybe other people would tell them weren't possible or weren't necessary or weren't important. I spent a lot of time talking about my experience as a 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, and how coming from Valencia County is one of the most important aspects behind what we're doing, and it serves as the fuel source for what Megan and I are doing and the community we're building around the things that we find are the most important, being your health, your fitness, and your overall well-being. And as I'm taking more time to just process, because I literally just got done speaking like 10 minutes ago, it's just an emotional experience. The only other thing I can think of is, like, it lets me know that what we're doing is working. You know, whether it's your fitness journey, or if you're trying to do something in your career or some aspect in your life that you're trying to build and grow, it's easy to get caught up in thinking that it's never going to work, no one's going to listen, no one's going to be interested, or really take in anything that I'm sharing or that's important to me. And that's definitely something that I've dealt with and will continue to deal with through this journey. But the fact that we're in a place now where we're able to present, in this case, in front of 500 kids and initiate and establish some amount of impact for these kids around our message and what we find is important, it lets me know that we're doing the right things, that we're headed in the right direction, and we're building the right kind of fuel source and the right kind of momentum moving forward. So I'm honored. Thank you to the staff at Valencia Middle School. Thank you to Ms. Jaramillo. Thank you to Ms. Martinez for providing the space and trusting in myself and Megan and Zach and our entire team to visit your campus and give back to the community, because we're not going to solve the problems that we face as a country without having these kinds of conversations and encouraging people in your hometown community. So here's to the future. This lets us know that there are good things ahead.